All right, guys, hope you're doing well. Just want to put out there that everything on the website is 31% off for Halloween. The code is Halloween31. So that goes for first month of coaching, that goes for the yearly membership, that goes for the indicator monthly subscription, or if you want to purchase it, we've got that going on right now, and you can take advantage of that. So that you can find that on the website. The code is Halloween31. Super simple. Okay, now let's take a look at the markets. I've got some requests of charts. I want to go over some stuff that I'm paying attention to, and then we'll get into it. So first thing, if we zoom out to the weekly chart, we're holding the 9 EMA. And I think the main thing we got to pay attention to is a break of last week's high or low. Really, that what we want to pay attention to is like this Friday's candle. Okay, that happened 2 weeks ago, two Fridays ago. So right now, just pay attention. Where are we holding? Where are we breaking out of? Because right now, last week was straight chop. We had two trades that were break even, and like we had QUBT, which we took a break out of, and it ended up going in our favor and making going up 10%. I didn't take anything off. I was looking for more than that. Um, And then we had, which got stopped out at break even. And then we had Palantir, which we bought. It moved up about 1.5 times our risk. Then I got stopped out at break even on that one. And after those two trades, I took three three other days off last week. So there was nothing really to do. And obviously, that seemed to be the right decision because we've gone nowhere. So um, main thing you want to pay attention to here with SPY is that we're trading within this range and start to pay attention to stuff when we get some volume coming in through one of these breakout levels. Okay. So that's the first thing I want to pay attention to is once we get out of this range, that's probably going to give us the next direction for the market. And if we break out here, obviously we're looking for longs. Here, we're kind of either staying cash or going short. Um, and yeah, we're going from there. But right now we're just sideways chop. But we've got some light at the end of the tunnel. QQQ has some or has shifted back to green. So you can see here when we shifted to green, we had a nice rally. Here we had a couple days of good momentum and then we ultimately failed, but then moved right back. Here we had yellow candles and then we moved, had a nice move after we flipped green again. So, this may warrant putting on some risk. Okay, so we still are in a choppy mess, but we can say, are there any tech stocks that are looking pretty good? And if so, can we trade those potentially to see some leaders start to break out? So that's the first thing. But I think if you're conservative, wait for the range break, wait for us to break this range we've been trading in, and then go from there. Okay. Um, IWM, nothing really to say here. It's back at the 21 EMA. It's got green trend bars, so it's all good. But the main one we want to pay attention to is just watch this range break, and that's the main thing, main theme going into this week. Watch the range break. You can try to put on some risk, but how I've been adjusting my trading is because we're in such a choppy environment and there's no real direction. If I'm trying to take a breakout, instead of waiting for me to be up 3, 4, 5 times my risk to move stop to break even. I'm looking for when we go up 1.5 times my risk, I'm moving my stop to break even. Because if it's going to go and it's a leader, it should break out and not look back. And the market should compensate as well. So that's how I'm adjusting in this choppy market. Or you just sit cash. We sat cash a lot last week, and that turned out to be a good option. So that's that. Um, As for the watch list, let's take a look. So AAOI, so this one has earnings coming up in about 2 weeks-ish. We're continuing to build higher lows on a bigger scale. We've got a weekly buy signal that printed a couple weeks ago. This one's been showing relative strength. So I think if you can look for the breakout of this 133.26-ish level. That looks like a great spot for a breakout. And if it's one of the ones that's holding up really well, so we can look to see if we can get a rally into earnings. NVIDIA. So main chart I'm looking at here for NVIDIA is we're bouncing out the 50. We bounced here, we bounced here. We almost came down to it and bounced here, but then now we're back at the 50. So keeping an eye on this. If the market's going to rally, it's going to need this, and this has a lot tighter range than SPY. Okay. Uh, just because we're using a different range, we had an inside candle here. We pretty much traded within this, or well, we did trade within this range, about 2 days in a row. So if we can get a breakout above like 185-ish, we should see a pretty decent rally. And we're at plenty of support. We're bouncing off the 50, which I usually like to see in before getting entries. So easy way to trade NVDX. Um, it's got an ATR or ADR of almost 6%, so it's a good mover and it's a good way to play NVIDIA unless you want to trade options. COHR, this one looks pretty good as well. Um, we're holding above the 21. We've bounced, we've bounced. Now we had an inside candle and a buy signal. So this one looks good for a breakout and potential run into earnings, which is in about a few weeks as well. Uh, all-time highs is here, 52-week highs, etc. So this one looks good here for a buy. And then we've got PI, which this one does have earnings coming up in 10 days from today. So um, we've got a tight range, so you want to look for this one to break out almost immediately. This is within the semiconductor space as well. We had another one that's a smaller semiconductor space as well that has earnings a little too close. Well, actually about the same time, but it's a weaker chart relative, which shows relative weakness. But this one here is also in the semi space and looks decent, but I'm paying attention to NVIDIA. I'm paying attention to PI. This one had a nice large rally up um, from this earnings report, about 27%, well, 18% gap up. And so now we're sitting up about 65% from that earnings. So maybe we'll get a rally into earnings. Um, Anticipation of another good earnings report. So this one looks good. We've got really tight price action where we're coiled up. So a breakout looks good to pay attention to. And then that's it for my watch list. So those are the four stocks that I have going into tomorrow that I'm paying attention to. NVIDIA earnings, or NVIDIA is a little more enticing, not because the chart looks the best, but because it doesn't have earnings until late November. So yeah, this doesn't have earnings until 11/19. So we've got a full month before that hits. So it gives us some more time to be in the trade, right? Okay, now I'm going to take a look at the stocks. So just going over the requests. Oops. So Tesla, I would just avoid this one until after earnings. Earnings are on Tuesday, so just or Wednesday, one or the other. So I'm gonna avoid this. Chart looks great, but like we're building this tight range, kind of like the rest of the market. So I'm kind of just avoiding this until the market decides, or until after earnings. There's no reason to trade it. You're not going to get that great of a move. PLTR, this one is just in a range 11.3. Yeah, so this might just stay chopping until earnings, but I do like this one. It's got a good little cup and handle pattern. I like the weekly chart a lot. We're getting a lot of tight price action right here. So the breakout here, I just keep paying attention to this and look for the breakout above 185-ish. Um, and this will probably go with where the market takes it. NVIDIA, we covered. Apple. Apple does look good. It's got a daily buy signal. It's right under all-time highs. This one looks great, 260 all-time high. So I think this one, I don't know if it's going to do it before earnings, but this chart looks good. We like to see a few things that you're building higher lows, you're getting a buy signal, you're breaking back above the moving averages, closing near the top of the candle, all the things. We're still within this range, but this one kind of looks like a leader, the way it's starting to break out of the range. So that one looks good. Um, it's just a slow mover, so maybe you trade AAPU or you trade some options. AAPU moves 3.5%, still a pretty slow mover, but looks pretty good. You could add it to like your long term or whatever. This one, there's nothing to do. It's in a stage one base. It's building higher lows, but this is a really rough chart. There's something wrong with this stock. Needless to say, it's got an inverse cup and handle type thing going on. It's got a weekly sell signal. You could probably short it below 158 and look for new all-time lows. Um, so yeah, if anything, I'd be looking to short this thing on any pops. Even more bearish with the fact that of this move we had up and then this gap down, even more confirmation that if it breaks out lower or breaks down below this low of 159, looks like a good short. J oh JMIA. This one, nothing to do here. It's starting to break down, so not really something I would trade here. Stock is starting to break down, and there's nothing really setting up within this one, so I'd kind of avoid this one. Uber, this one looks like it might be breaking down as well. It's bouncing off the 21 EMA, so this could be a spot to pick it up with a stop below this last week's low, which is 91.18, so which kind of runs with the 21 EMA. So if this, as long as it holds the weekly 21, it looks okay. But yeah, that's how I'd go about trading that. But it does have earnings, so you might, depends on how you're wanting to trade it. Amazon, I wouldn't touch this one, just continuing to break down. So maybe you'll find support at the 50, but this is a laggard, so I try to avoid it. But all right, those are all the ones that uh, were requested. So I hope this helps. Thank you guys for watching. And like I said, Halloween sale going on until I think November 3rd. Everything off on the website, 31% off. So take advantage. But all right, guys, talk to you soon.